All right, predictions for UFC Austin. We're going to start off in the middleweight division with a battle between Roman Dolidze, who comes into the fight with a record of 9 victories and 1 defeat, going up against Kyle Daukaus. Now, he comes back on the other side with a record of 11-2 and 1 no contest. So 9-1 for Dolidze, 11-2 and 1 no contest for Kyle Daukaus. So Daukaus fights out of primarily the southpaw stance. He likes to throw that right hook, the straight left down the center. He had that controversial fight against Kevin Holland, who also fights on this card. We'll talk about him in a little bit. He had a controversial fight against Kevin Holland where they both came in to close the distance. I think Daukaus was going to get a body lock, and Holland tried to meet him head on, and he literally met him head on. They clashed heads. Kevin Holland went out, face planted for a second, but woke back up. Daukaus, since the ref didn't jump in, he jumped on him, went to lock up a palm-to-palm guillotine, and almost got it. They kind of scrambled out. There was a little scramble for position. Daukaus was able to take the back, get his hooks in, and lock up a standing rear naked choke and get the submission. So Daukaus submitted Kevin Holland, but the fight was called a no contest due to the accidental clash of heads and the fact that Holland basically got knocked out. I'm a little bit surprised that Holland is not fighting Daukaus on this card. I know Holland's back down at 170, so it wouldn't make any sense for him to fight at middleweight again. But I think Daukaus and Holland is definitely a fight to run back in the future if Holland does decide to go back up to 185. But we'll see if that takes place. Dolidze, like I said, 9-1 overall as a professional mixed martial artist. We're going to pull up the UFC on ESPN. So this event is UFC on ESPN 37. So I already talked about how I thought it was UFC Fight Night 208, but it wasn't labeled as that. So this is UFC on ESPN 37, Cater versus Emmett. So Roman Dolidze, here we go. Where is it? Oh, it's the first fight on the card. All right, Roman Dolidze, 9-1 overall. He's got 4 KO TKOs, 3 submissions, and 2 decisions. The one loss is by decision coming to Trevin Giles. So Roman Dolidze lost that decision to Trevin Giles. That was up at light heavyweight, I think. I could be wrong, but I think that fight happened at light heavyweight. Let's see. I mean, Giles is a middleweight, but for some reason I thought it was light heavyweight, but I'm probably wrong there. So Dolidze lost to Trevin Giles. He got dominated there. He's coming off of wins over Laureano Starpoli, which was his last fight. That was on June 5th, 2021. He won via unanimous decision at UFC Fight Night 189. That fight was awful. It was a lot of getting into close range, controlling in the body lock, working up against the cage, looking for trips, inside and outside trips, but really just looking to control position and not looking to finish the fights. Staropoli came back later in the fight and was landing some good shots on the feet. But every time Dolidze was able to shoot those takedowns or get in on the hips of Staropoli, he was able to take him down and control him and work from that top position. It was a lot of control for Dolidze. And then against Kadis Ibrahimov, he won via first round TKO. Now, look, I know he got a TKO there. That was a big win for him. But Ibrahimov is definitely not a high-level fighter. And I think that fight was the one that was at light heavyweight. So I think I was wrong. Giles versus Dolidze was at middleweight, but Ibrahimov, I think that was at light heavyweight. That was in July of 2020. So you could just see from the fight, Ibrahimov just wasn't there. His striking wasn't there. He was kind of plodding forward. Dolidze was landing a lot of right outside low kicks from orthodox and then left inside low kicks and trying to land left high kicks from that southpaw position. He had decent footwork, good lateral movement, good in and out, control of the distance. But he ended up catching Ibrahimov stepping in with a left high kick. The knee collided with the chin, dropped him, jumped on him, and got the TKO. So he's got power. That's the one thing that Dolidze has. He definitely has more power and knockout ability than Kyle Daukaus. I think that's one thing that you can give the advantage to Dolidze here against Daukaus. And then when you look at Daukaus's record, 11-2, his nickname on here is actually the Darce Knight, Kyle Daukaus, and I actually really like that. That's a cool nickname that's super creative. I don't know why he doesn't use that in the UFC because I don't think he uses any type of nicknames, but he's fighting out of Philly, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He'll be cornered by his brother, who's a heavyweight in Chris Daukaus. And then probably, I think he works with Sean Brady out there too. He might, I'm not sure, but I know they're all from that Philly area. But the Darce Knight, Kyle Daukaus, he's coming off of that submission victory via Bravo choke or Darce choke in the first round at 4 minutes and 59 seconds over Jamie Pickett. Prior to that was the no contest against Kevin Holland. Before that, he lost the decision to Phil Hawes. Just got out-wrestled, out-controlled. Hawes just was too powerful for a guy like Daukaus. Prior to that, he fought a really highly decorated grappler in Dustin Stoltzfus at UFC 255, and he won that fight via unanimous decision. My favorite fight I've ever seen Kyle Daukaus in was his UFC debut against Brendan Allen at UFC on ESPN 12, Poirier versus Hooker. An absolute barn burner. That's exactly what that fight was. It was back and forth, so many scrambles, so many changes of positions. Daukaus landing that straight left, right hook, landing the combos on the feet. Allen coming back, landing shots on the feet against Daukaus, hurting him, dropping him, constantly scrambling out of positions. I think Daukaus got the back at one point. Just a phenomenal fight. If you haven't watched Kyle Daukaus' UFC debut over Brendan Allen, go back and watch that fight. UFC on ESPN 12. Brendan Allen just got that win, controversially, I'll say, over Jacob Malhoun at UFC 275, but we're not here to talk about that. So when I break down the fight, here's what I see. Roman Dolidze is a great Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu artist. He's a great grappler. His takedown ability is decent. He's got good takedowns. Likes to work from that body lock, looks to trip you, but his main bread and butter is those double leg takedowns. He's going to try to get in on your hips, shoot those doubles, take you down, and control you. The problem is, even if he takes you down, he's not very active in any positions that he has when it comes to being in a dominant position on the floor. He likes to control you. He likes to keep you up against the fence in that over-under position in a double underhook. Keep you up against the cage with that shoulder pressure and not allow you to circle off and get back to the center. I don't think that Dolidze is going to be able to play that game against a guy like Kyle Daukaus, who is a phenomenal Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu artist in and of his own right, but he is a much better striker than Dolidze on the feet. We're going to see a big difference here in the striking, I believe. Now, I'm not saying Dolidze is a bad striker. Like I said, he's got decent movement, good kicks, really solid left body kicks, left high kicks, good right outside low kicks. But it's going to be hard to land any clean technical shots against the Kyle Daukaus. And even if Dolidze lands a big shot on the feet and maybe stuns Daukaus, he's not going to get him out of there. I can't see that happening. Now, Dolidze is 11-1, or I'm sorry, 3-1 in the UFC. The only loss coming to Trevin Giles. Daukaus, on the other hand, is 2-2, I believe, in the UFC, with wins over Stoltzfus and Jamie Pickett, and then losses to Brendan Allen and Phil Hawes, which losing to Phil Hawes and Brendan Allen are definitely not a thing to hang your hat on. Maybe the Brendan Allen loss, but at the time when he fought him, Brendan Allen was very highly regarded, so you can't really knock Kyle Daukaus at that point. And I think if they fought now, I think Daukaus would mop the floor with Brendan Allen, in my opinion. You can correct me or debate with me if you think that I'm wrong, but I think that Daukaus' striking is just so much better. He's got a beautiful right hook, a beautiful straight left, 1-1-2s. He puts his combinations together beautifully. That's something that Kyle Daukaus has that I think a lot of people don't give him credit for. It's throwing 3, 4, 5, 6 punch combinations. He can put it together. Touch, 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 right hook, left uppercut, right hook, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, uppercut. Putting the combinations together. And if he gets those combinations in the face of Roman Dolidze, he's going to get him panic shooting, and it can leave the neck open for, now we know, who the person who's called the Darce Knight. And if you leave your neck open against Daukaus, I think Daukaus can lock up a submission and submit him. But I also think that Dolidze is going to have the strength and power advantage. So I think we're going to see a lot of this fight when it's in close range, fought up against the cage in the over-under position, looking to get the double unders, constantly fighting for the pummeling. There's going to be a lot of pummeling here, a lot of shoulder strikes, a lot of knees to the legs, knees to the body. And I think that the thing is, Daukaus is going to start to take over in the second and the third round. Dolidze is going to tire out, but he's still going to have the pop in his shots to land those combinations on the feet. The striking of Kyle Daukaus is levels above Dolidze, but Dolidze has enough power to shut his lights out, I believe. I mean, no, I don't think he can knock him out, but he can definitely hurt him. Dolidze has good power in his kicks and in his punches, so I do think he can hurt Daukaus, so Daukaus does have to be a little bit careful. But I think the takedowns, the wrestling is going to kind of stifle each other out in the first round, round and a half. But the longer the fight goes, that's when Daukaus is going to be able to take over with his pace, his combinations, his pressure. He's more active from the bottom, more active from the top when it comes to the ground game. I think that he's going to be more dangerous. He's going to offer more danger to Roman Dolidze than Dolidze does to him. Dolidze doesn't impress me too much, but he is something that he is somebody that I think Daukaus has to worry about in certain positions, especially with the strength that he possesses. But overall, I'm going to have to go with Kyle Daukaus here. I'm going to go with Kyle Daukaus to defeat Roman Dolidze via a 29-28 unanimous decision. I could see a late submission if he's able to tire out Dolidze, but I think that he's just going to grind him out. He's going to outstrike him on the feet. I think it's going to be a close first round. In the second and third, that's where Daukaus is going to take over with his boxing, his combinations, shots to the face, just pop, 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 boom, 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 boom. He's got great boxing, and I think that's something you'll see here. The straight left into the right hook into the straight left, the jab into the right hook into the straight left hand. All that stuff's going to be open for Daukaus. The takedowns and the top control, I think, are going to be open towards the midpoint of the second round and into the third. So 29-28 unanimous decision for Kyle Daukaus to defeat Roman Dolidze and hand him his second loss in the UFC. Now, when it comes to the odds for this fight, Daukaus is a pretty heavy favorite. We'll pull it up here. Excuse me, guys. I told you I was sick. I wasn't kidding. Here we go. Yeah, so Daukaus is a minus 235 favorite over Dolidze. I know that's a big favorite line, so I definitely wouldn't be mad if you were like, yeah, I don't really want to touch that. I could definitely see the reasons why. But I think Daukaus is one of your locks for this card if you're looking at it from a betting standpoint. I think Daukaus to win straight up or Daukaus to win by decision. I could see the Daukaus by submission line too, so I wouldn't really be mad at you for any way that you attack it. If you're looking to make more money, I would say probably run the Daukaus by decision because I do think that Dolidze is going to be durable and tough enough to last those 15 minutes, but I don't think he gets his hand raised against Daukaus if it goes to the judges' scorecards. And then Daukaus straight up in a parlay, along with another guy we're going to talk about later on in the card, I think is a great look for this card and this card specifically, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, I do think that Daukaus should be one of your locks for this week. And you can not take it because of how high the favorite is at minus 235, but I do like Daukaus as a lock for this weekend. But my pick is Kyle Daukaus to defeat Roman Dolidze via 29-28 unanimous decision.